Well, I'm here today with Jason, and Jason, you are a member of the Big Better Academy,
Yeah,
and it's so awesome having you in there because, let's be honest, everybody loves you, Jason. It's so much fun having you on the calls and in the group. But the reason I wanted to chat with you today is to just kind of share your story because your story is really inspiring. So, for those of us that don't know your backstory, share a little bit about your journey to your journey of Sweet Mission and what it was like before you and I met.
yeah. So as far as my journey with Sweet Mission, Sweet Mission was a company that I actually started while I was homeless in Philadelphia. I had a job that I worked for about 12 years, and they were doing layoffs. And as a result, I ended up getting laid off. I ended up being homeless and really wasn't sure what I was going to do at that time. I really didn't know what I was going to do. And so I ended up joining this movement at the time that was called Occupy. So it was kind of this thing, big, against the government type thing. And the reason why I joined it was not because I believed or disbelieved in what they were doing, but they had exactly what I needed at that time, which was clothes and food and a place to shower and just have some friends. And during that time, I was thinking, okay, what is it that I need to do to get myself out of this situation? And I had that aha moment. Like I remember I knew how to bake cookies for sure. So maybe that's something I could do. I could start my own business and everybody's like, you're crazy. You don't have no money, no place to stay. Nobody's going to believe you. And I thought as long as I believe in myself, that's really what matters. And so I was able to collaborate with some other local businesses and organizations to kind of pitch my idea of doing this cookie business. And so through that, I was able to get a 12-week scholarship to take some business classes. I joined up with another organization that kind of gave me some seed money to start my business. And then I found a kitchen to bake in. And then I also ultimately found housing at a shelter, which were the things that I needed. When I started the company, I started it as Just Cookies. That was the name of it. I launched the company June 1st of 2012 in Philadelphia. Everybody was like, whoa, how do you do that? And when I started the company, it was about me. And as the time went on, it became not about me, but it became about me sharing my story of being in recovery and being homeless and just being able to do all this stuff at that particular time. I moved the company to California in 2013, just kind of on a whim. I just picked a place I wanted to came to California and started the business over again and relaunched it as Sweet Mission with the goal to inspire, empower, and encourage people. It was not an easy journey, but I knew that I had to keep on doing the journey. And there was times, even when I moved to California, there was times where the company would be going and then I would have to stop because I didn't have any money, but I would tell my customers, well, I'm rebranding the company right now, AKA trying to figure out to get some money to do the business. And so it was a slow process. It was a hard process, but I knew that I could do it if I just held on and I kept on moving forward with the business. So that's kind of how I started. I took
I
myself
don't
out.
know how many people know that story. It's so inspiring. And there's a couple of things that you said that I want to make sure that we don't skip over. One of them was that, like in the process of all this change going on in your life and finding yourself in that unfortunate situation, you said, the one thing I know how to do is bake cookies. And so like you really leaned on your baking, which I think that so many members of this group are doing the same thing. They're like, I just know that I have this gift. I know how to make food taste really good. I know how to make baked goods taste delicious. And so to take that chance and say, maybe that is the opportunity that I need that, can get me out of this situation.
And even
That's relatable. Not many of us can relate to being laid off and being homeless, but very relatable to kind of just go all in on your baking ability.
and even at that time, Allison, I want to clarify when I say when I knew how to bake. At that time, I had only baked Toll House cookies. When I was 11
Oh,
years old,
you were really risking it all.
I was 11. I was 11 years old, and I remember making some Toll House cookies for my stepdad. And I took them to him, and he said, "Man, son, these cookies are good." He goes, "You're gonna be a great baker someday." And that stuck with me all those years up until when I became home. I'm like, "Oh man, I know how to bake cookies." So I just kind of had to develop something to start to, I knew baking was it.
That's so inspiring. And it didn't really happen overnight for you, because what did you say, 2012? This is 2022. You've been at this for a while.
Yeah, 2020, June 1st of 2012 is when I launched the company. So I've been going for it since then. And right, it has not been easy, because sometimes I had money, sometimes I haven't had money. The bank said, we're not going to give you the money. I said, okay, well, I guess I have to take on a part-time job, figure out what I can do to keep this company going. Because what I remembered, right, was that it was not about me. I could have easily given up and said, oh, well, I don't want to do this. I'll just get a regular job. But by me giving up on on this company, it's not giving up on me. It's giving up on all the other people that need to hear the story, that need this hope, that need this transformation in their life.
That is one of my favorite things about your brand, is the mission that you are on to empower and educate other people who have had similar and unfortunate backgrounds, who are really just looking for an opportunity. So like cookies or no cookies, that in itself is amazing, but it wasn't easy. It wasn't quick. When did things start to sort of change for you?
I think things started changing for me maybe right at the beginning of the pandemic, kind of, like 2019, when things kind of started changing a little bit, because I had a more foundation. I understood baking a little more, because when I moved to California and I started baking, I was actually doing, I was using cake mix cookies. And I remember somebody telling me, hey, the cookies are good, but you need to try to make them on your own, because if someone sees that you're making cake mix cookies, they're going to be really mad at you. And so I just kind of blew it off like, oh, okay. So in 2020 is when I said, okay, I'm going to try this. I'm just going to step out. I'm going to step out and I'm going to try to make some cookies from scratch. And so I scrapped the whole cake box mix idea and started doing them from scratch. So that's when things kind of started turning around. But when they really started turning around was and most people know that Facebook is like I love Facebook. That's how I do my advertising for my business. I'm always checking out Facebook. And I remember this one day, I was just flipping through stuff on Facebook, and I saw this question and answer session for your group. And I was like, all right, well, I'm just gonna pop in and see what it's about. And I'm glad I did pop in, and I stayed, and I was like, wow, this is a group that I want to be in. I think this is kind of what I've been looking for. That was my moment, because at that time, before that, I really thought that my cookie business was gonna flop, because I was like, I just don't know which way to turn, or what am I gonna do next.
Yeah. And I love that you said that you changed along with your business. So you went from making cake mix cookies to going, okay, I can't do that anymore. I need to change my game up a little bit. That's part of the process, is like really saying, where I started might not be where I end up. Right. So now you are a member inside the Bake Better Academy, which is our membership group. It's an online course. We've got the community together there. And what about being in the program has really helped you the most to keep the momentum going with your business?
I think what helps me the most in that group, in that academy, is the camaraderie of people. Learning pricing. I didn't know pricing at all. I just kind of was guessing a lot of times and just seeing what everybody else was doing, and coming into the academy and learning pricing. What I learned was that I was cheating myself. I wasn't really making money. It was kind of just like a hobby, because I didn't factor in everything that needs to be factored in, time and ingredients and your bills and marketing and all that stuff. I never really factored any of that stuff in, so I was shortchanging myself. So yeah. The pricing was really, really important. It's been important. I still use it today, and even when I'm on Facebook, I hear somebody say something about pricing, I'm like, this is what you need to do.
I know what you need. So you go into I will explain it for anybody who hasn't been in the program. There's the online member vault area. That's where all the digital courses are kept. And you're in there, you're working on your pricing. And if you don't understand it, or it's just you have questions about how to price your products, jumping on the coaching calls and getting your questions answered, or talking it through in the membership area, there's a lot of support going on in there for your pricing.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. And you have found some really good friends in that community as well. You've got people supporting you because they love your business, but also because you have other bakers who sell really similar products, right? You've got your cookie twin that you guys call each other. That's so great. I love seeing all of your posts and inside the group, but even outside the group, members in that group really do kind of lift each other up and support each other. Because I see them commenting on your own personal page. I'm like, that's so cute. Everybody's friends, even outside of the community. And that just like kind of gives me all the warm, fuzzy, you know, feelings, because that's what it's about, is that togetherness, that community support that you kind of need when you're doing this alone, right? You're baking at home. You don't have somebody sitting there next to you to answer all your questions to, but jump in the group any time of day and there's somebody who's going to say, you're amazing.
What I like
what are you doing? Let me ask a question. And
what I like also about the group is that people aren't, what I say, stingy. They're just, they though we all make the same thing, we all can bounce off ideas off of each other. We can learn from each other. Even though we all sell cookies or whatever, we look beyond that and say, okay, let me help you because you might have an idea that I didn't think of. I might have an idea that you didn't think of, to enhance each other, and we lift each other up.
Yes. Yeah, I love that. I love that when you guys are sharing your recipes with each other, because this is more of a close-knit group, right? This is not like giving your recipe to anybody. This is like sharing your recipe with your friend if you want to. But it's just a great community. And when your time is kind of limited and you know how Facebook can kind of suck you in, it's nice to have your one go-to spot where you're like, I got to see what's going on with my people today and see what we're talking about. So that's one of the other things that I really love about it. So what would you say to someone who is pretty serious about getting their baking business going and thinking about joining the Bake Better Academy?
Well, I would tell them, don't think too long because you might think yourself out of it. I will tell you that it is worth every dollar for this group, because what you get here, you can't, I mean, you can't get this anywhere else for the amount of knowledge that we get and the time that our mentor, that Allison puts in this, and she could be doing a million other things, but to really hone in and use this as a special group and to help us. I would say do it. I would say exchange your dough for their dough.
Yeah, I love that. I knew there was going to be a pun in there. Yeah. Oh,
it will definitely, in all seriousness, it will definitely transform your business. I'm telling you, I'm living proof. It has changed mine immensely, even to me rebranding and redeveloping. And even today, what I'm working on is I'm working on my, because I'm going to be doing wholesale. And so I actually baked some cookies last night. I have day dieted them, so now I can figure out the freshness of my product. So that's another tip that I got from out of this group.
Yes, absolutely. And that wholesale section of the pricing method is in there for people who are working on wholesale. Wholesale is a big one when people have a state that allows it. It's so great to be able to jump on and say, I am ready to take my business up a notch in terms of professionalism and sell to another wholesale, a wholesaler, and all of the resources are inside the group in the courses to help you figure out how to wholesale. So
there's everything in there everything there from A to Z in this course. I mean, you can't go wrong. And another great part is that in this group, Allison is not closed-minded. So if there's a subject that you're like, oh, I'm not sure of, best believe she's gonna say, okay, let me do a section on that, or let me cover that. Yes. So everything is covered here. Everything.
Yeah, I love the feedback and the way the feedback kind of directs the course too. So the basics are all in the modules. You're definitely going to learn how to take your payments, how to set up an online ordering form, like all of our A to Z, write your menu, learn your pricing. But then it doesn't stop there. Once you have kind of gotten that far, we still have that support for bakers who have done all that work. So there's new modules and trainings and workshops being added every week. And it really comes from you guys, what you want to see inside the group. So lots of cool stuff planned in the near future. And what's next for Sweet Mission? Like, what is your 2022 goal look like?
My 2022 goal is I'm really working towards getting either into a shared kitchen, or my ultimate goal would be to have my own storefront. I'm really working on that so that I can now really focus on the mission of Sweet Mission, and that is hiring people that come from vulnerable backgrounds, that have barriers. I really want to focus on that this upcoming year. I'm getting a great customer base this year, and again, this is all thanks to the academy, and just really learning. Like this stuff I didn't know like about pop-ups or flash sales, and all this stuff has helped me in my business, and to even get business that I didn't know was available. So
that's so great. I love your story. I love the patience that you've had with your business to really see it through all of its stages, and you're still working on getting it to where you want it to be, but where you are today is so much farther than your Toll House days. Absolutely. and your cake mix days. And I'm so proud of you, Jason, and I wanted to do this little interview so that people here in the Home Bakery Business Tips group could really get an idea of what kind of support is available inside the Bake Better Academy. If you're ready for it, this group is there to support you. So
another thing I wanted to say also, I know that this group works because my sales before this group were probably maybe like $200, maybe $300 a month, if that. So now it's gone from that to about $1,000 maybe within a month. And that's
amazing. I know so many bakers would be thrilled just to be hitting that $1,000 a month mark, whether they're part-time or trying to do it full-time. That's amazing growth. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, what an inspiration you are. Okay, well, thank you for joining, and thanks everybody for watching today on this Hot Topics Live, and we'll be back next week, same time, same place, 2 p.m. right here inside the Home Bakery Business Tips Facebook group. See you guys next week.
See you guys.